What's up, YouTube guys? I have secret information I discovered in my TA. It's not clickbait. I want to show you this. This is really amazing from a technical analysis perspective. And as you guys know, I've been doing my pro trades market updates for the SPX and NDX. I discovered this last night. I shared it with the room. Let me show you something amazing because everybody says, well, the stocks don't really matter. They're not really that interlinked. You know, many times on this video series, you've seen me overlay the different markets. And because of the volatility differences, it's not always clear to a lot of people how interconnected they are. This will prove it to you, and the reason this is important, we'll get into it, but let me show you this right now. 4-hour time frame. You guys can do this on your charts. You know how I showed you how we laid out the fibs, okay? I showed you in my pro trades video how I'm laying it out, and I'm showing you, I already showed you here for Bitcoin. Look at the 618. Couple of things I want you to notice. This is a 4-hour time frame. This is 618. This purple line is the 89 EMA, okay? So I have my purple is 89. So the purple line is the 89 EMA. I set these up the same way on all the charts. I want you guys to look at this. The 89 EMA price is resting right on top of it on the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, okay? That's the 55 below us. The 144, I want you to pay attention to this. 144 is right at the 618, okay, at the 4-hour time frame. The 233 is higher up. Again, this is Bitcoin. Let me show you how connected these markets are. This is NASDAQ, NDX, 4-hour time frame. The 89, your price is resting right on the 89. Look at the 144, right on the 618. The 233, slightly above. Okay, again, these are all different values, obviously, because of the marketplaces, but they're in the exact same TA position on every 4-hour chart. I haven't looked at the daily yet. Look, here's the SPX, 4-hour time frame, 618. The 144 is resting right near the 618. Price is just on top of the 89. These markets are interconnected. So what does this mean? Why is this important? Well, you remember Bitcoin dumped, right? Bitcoin dumped first. The other markets then had those crazy, like the Dow 800-point swings, had the third largest recovery ever in history off of a swing, or maybe that was the SPX, but they had a super volatile week, trading back and forth, but Bitcoin just kind of sat here, right? Bitcoin kind of sat here and people were expecting the rug to get pulled, Bitcoin to fall apart. But the truth is Bitcoin led the decline with this decline that we got. So Bitcoin beat them to the punch. The reason this is really important to track, guys, because now we're at the 0 hour. What does that mean? If you view this like a race, the finish line being whatever, new all-time high, okay? If you view this like a race, every single major market, the NDX, the SPX, and Bitcoin, which represents the crypto market, are all at the exact same spot on the 4-hour time frame. What this could mean is if we see Bitcoin pump, the other markets could follow, or vice versa. If the other markets pump first, Bitcoin could follow. We don't know which one will lead. We know Bitcoin led on the dump. Bitcoin may lead on the pump, but maybe the other markets lead. But this is really important because right now the health and welfare are at a different level of being tied together. They are literally at the exact same resistance, both for Fibonacci, the way that I laid them out in my videos, as you guys saw in this video series, both for Fibonacci and the exact same point on the 89. Every single major market. So this is pivotal. So if we see one pump, it could be the leader for the other ones to follow, okay? Now, Bitcoin is highly volatile, the most volatile asset in the world. I would anticipate, there's two different scenarios. You could think, well, the volatile asset will pop first, right, and shoot up, but it could also dump first. I mean, typically volatile assets get liquidity pulled from them, which is why it dumped first. But you may see the standard, the traditional safe markets pump first just for the mere fact that those are safer markets. And then when those markets reach levels that big institutions are comfortable, then they put money back into Bitcoin. But I wanted to share that with you guys because nobody on YouTube is talking about this. I discovered it myself last night, but maybe perhaps now you'll see it all over YouTube. But this is really fascinating from a TA perspective. I'm going to look at the larger time frames like the daily, but right now, current trend, 4-hour time frame. You guys check that out on your charts, laying out your fibs the way I showed you in the previous videos. Let's get into Bitcoin TA, guys. If you enjoy this type of TA, please go ahead and smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, helps us out in the algorithm. And of course, check out our Discord. The link is in the video description. So is our Twitter, guys. And guys, just to be clear, our Discord has a free side. We have a free side. We talk over there. We hang out over there as well. So if you just want to join the Discord, we have almost 7,000 people total. between the two sides. Would love to see you guys there. And let's get into Bitcoin. All right, so where are we at? Well, like I told my room this morning in TA, guys, and I told you guys yesterday in the video as well, I didn't anticipate a pump yet. We're on a 4-hour time frame. These are the waves, okay? But typically when you see these waves, and I anticipate this to retrace some, it would make sense to retrace some, possibly to the 55, getting a shallower wave. Normally, now Bitcoin is, again, the most volatile asset in the world. Look at the ATR, how far down that came. Normally, what you see in a compression pattern is your ATR flatline like this, right? Do you understand what I mean by flatline? Flatline meaning it's not spiked up like this. You want it down low and it explodes up. This is huge separation in candles when it does this. When it does these little moves, these are just chop, right? So we want to see the ATR flatline, and normally you want to see the volume decline. I showed you this before, left to right, okay? So you want to see your volume tighten up to almost nothing, like something like this. We don't have it right now because we have these volume spikes, but you want to see something like this, almost like breaking through a falling wedge or something, or a triangle, or symmetrical triangle, okay? But you want to see volume decline. So I don't think this is the spring yet to get out of this pivot. So we're looking for the pivot. That's the whole thing we're trying to track here, is the pivot in price, like Livermore traded, okay? Also in the Wyckoff method, we are in the LPS, the last point of supply, trading above our normal trading range that we established in accumulation, and we are looking for a pivot out. Lots of bearish resistance. We hit a Fibonacci pattern in the room. A lot of guys shorted it on this pump. These are all small moves. We're looking for the big pivot out. And that big pivot out, as you guys know, has all this resistance above us, the 144, the 233, various Fibonacci patterns at these EMAs as well. But from a technical perspective, if we can flip the 618 on a pivot, okay, and again, we're going to see big bullish volume candles when that happens, as well as an ATR spike, but we want all that to tighten up first and then pivot. So this doesn't look like it's happening today. Now Bitcoin can do anything because Bitcoin is super volatile, but we want to see this get flipped, hold it as support, and then move back up. When you from a statistical analysis standpoint, on 20 years of database analysis, looking at not crypto obviously, but looking at the traditional markets, when you flip the 618, you have a bias to go onto the 1 fib. Okay, this is why I trade with these fibs. When you flip the 1 fib, you have a bias to go onto the 1618. So you could retrace at any of these levels, but you have an overall bias if you start making bullish momentum to flip these levels and at least test that 1 fib, even if it's just a wick before you get dissension. So it's really important to hold this 618 because that will pump us up potentially to our next target of 43K. Let's go ahead and look at some indicators. We got to check out the volatility again. For pivot points, guys, I mean, we talk about this all the time in our Discord. Volatility is the marketplace for trading breakouts. Breakouts and breakdowns is all based off volatility. Everybody should be using the Caterpillar. This is the RSVVB, okay, by DW, Donovan Wall. You can just type in DW and you'll see a whole bunch of indicators of his. Big fan. Most of them are free, and this one is free, so you can download it and enjoy it. Read his papers on it. The guy's like a scientist. He's an excellent Forex trader as well, by the way. But you can see we're bottling up still, okay? So this isn't the pivot. This isn't the explosion. We are above our median line. And again, guys, this is just an indicator. If it's as simple as trading is just to use a single indicator, you got to understand the support and resistance structure that we're in, the market structure, the sentiment. If you guys watched my pro trades videos, like I said, what did I say would happen yesterday? I expect retracement today, right? And the markets are flat. Okay, nothing goes up and down in a straight line. So Bitcoin's doing the same thing. It's waiting, and now they're all literally at the same level. And on the 4-hour time frame, this is where I trade, guys. This is what I look at. 1 hour obviously is more leading, but this is where I trade. I want this ATR to come back down flat line, hopefully at a deeper level like it did over here to the left. And this is just an example. It's a better example to show you for the volume. What you want to look for at home. Where did I just see it at? Basically something like this is what you want to see in your volume. You want to see a steep decline in your volume coming down like that, but more prolonged, okay? So you want to see a steeper decline in your volume, and then you'd be looking for a surge back up. That's what you're looking for when we're trading with pivot points and volatility. So it's just something to keep in mind. And let's go ahead and check out some other indicators. This is bottling up nicely, though. You can see it getting tighter. So this is almost a tighter range because this wave was smaller. This is how this concept works with volatility compression patterns. the wave gets smaller and smaller, the volatility gets tighter and tighter, and just like a rubber band, remember I used that analogy? The markets are a rubber band. If you fall from your supports, you will snap back and try to retest them at some point. And that's what Bitcoin's doing now. It's coiling up like a snake to try to retest these. Let's look at our volume weighted moving averages. Volatility weighted moving averages, and we are above them. Everything is being green lit for an attempted pump, and the key word is attempted. I know most of YouTube is talking about where they're going to short. Okay, I see the thumbnails pop up on my phone, but this is going to be an attempted pump. How successful it is will depend on if we can flip these key resistance points. Okay, so if you laid out your EMAs, you will see those areas where those key resistance points are at. Volatility wise, this is doing exactly what we want it to do for a bullish move up. Look at the Kaufman adaptive moving averages here. These are all going green underneath this. See, everything is starting to be, and you got a little bit of red right here, last little bit of red. Everything is saying from a volatility perspective, you're about to be greenlit for takeoff, okay? Now that takeoff could end abruptly at the 618. Let's be completely clear here. But if we flip that 618, we're going to have a problem here at the 233. We have Fibonacci patterns as well, harmonic patterns that are saying this could be a point of retracement. But remember, just the fact that it retraces, it's all going to depend on supply versus demand. A retracement could just be back down to the 618 and then back up. It could be less than that. It could be deeper. But with the other markets, the overall sentiment and the theory that I've adopted as far as what I think is happening in those other markets, everything is on a clock, okay? The Fed's first rate hike will be in March, and even though it's going to be minuscule, it's not going to affect inflation really at all, in my opinion. It's the psychology of the marketplace. Uh-oh, Fed's raising rates, people are going to sell. So that's a potential. But I anticipate between now and March, we are going to make some strong gains in these marketplaces, especially in the stocks, which of course is, like I said, is going to lift up the crypto space as well. And hopefully we can hold those gains, and there'll be some selling from the rate hike, but hopefully that can be recovered quickly. So overall, and I know this is totally contrarian, okay? I know it's totally contrarian to everybody saying, you know, what's going on in the marketplace. I do believe each of these markets has the ability to make a new high. Do I think it's a bubble? 100%. 100%, but the bubble is not popped until it's a bubble, okay? Until it is popped. And this right now, what's happening in these markets, you're seeing it and play out in Wyckoff, like I've been talking about in the video series. These are all accumulation events, okay? And they're pumping back up. And they're gonna do this. And if they can flip these key resistances, you could be looking at new all-time highs in all three of these marketplaces before an epic collapse. If you guys watch this channel, we're gonna be trading it both ways, and I will do my absolute best because trust me, I have a lot of trades in play. I'll do my absolute best to keep you guys 100% informed as well. And the best way to stay informed is to join our room, guys. There's no risk. You can come check it out. And guys, check out our sponsor too, because they've been awesome with this. They host tournaments. They do a lot of giveaways and stuff in our room. BITGET, their link is in the video description. You can click the link. You get all the bonuses that come with using our link. And that's all there as well. It's totally anonymous, no VPN or KYC. All right, guys, another video coming tomorrow. Happy trading, everybody.